Hello everybody, it's Columbus Day. To say that this day has a little bit of controversy in contemporary society would be an understatement. You talk to some people, well, Columbus is the guy who discovered America. To others, he's a man who committed terrible atrocities. The truth is, there's more complexity here. Obviously, Columbus never set foot on what is today North or South America. He did set foot in the Caribbean and was in the Caribbean islands. And of course, he spent a good deal of his time thinking he was in India, of all places. That's what he was doing, looking for a route to get to India by sailing west. He convinced the Spanish government to fund him. Got to give him credit for that one. So what does this all mean today, really? Well, first off, let's talk about how Columbus Day got started in the United States, when after all, I just said he never set foot in what is today America. And the reason Columbus Day is celebrated is because Italian Americans were previously discriminated against. And America, to borrow from Carlos Mencia, has a history of kind of being sort of a frat house when new waves of immigrants arrive. You're kind of the new people, the fresh meat, the kind of people who kind of get hazed a little bit. Trying to make comedy out of some real conditions here, but bear with me. Carlos Mencia points this out. So basically, Italian Americans were, at this day and age, when they were coming in mass, they were discriminated against. And Columbus Day was to say, like, hey guys, you're all discriminating against us, but yet Columbus, the man who discovered this new world, where we all would follow and eventually settle in, that was our guy, an Italian. And that's what started the movement of Columbus Day. Not so much about his discovery of America, but more for the Italian Americans to assimilate themselves into the United States and show that they belong in America just as much as people who'd come from other places, traditionally Ireland and England. So that's how it got started here. Now, when you talk about the things Columbus did, yes, he did some evil things, especially by contemporary standards. But the issue I have is we pretend that this was not the case of the native people. Ask yourself, how did the Aztecs become an empire? Or the Mayans, or the Incas? They subjugated the tribes around them. In fact, there were tribes who actually helped Cortez take on the Aztecs because they were being subjugated by the Aztecs. And we've seen instances, just reading an article recently in Machu Picchu, where they actually sacrificed kids. That's right, kids, even infants, were sacrificed. Barbaric behavior. So, let's stop pretending the native peoples who occupied the Americas were these peaceful, non-warlike creatures. They were very warlike, and they did commit atrocities, things we found horrifying as enlightened Europeans, especially as it pertains to the sacrifices made of children. So, it is Columbus Day. It's a day off if you work for the federal government or some select other companies. And there's a new trend to kind of rename this holiday Native Peoples Day. Well, in some ways, this is like saying, Jeffrey Dahmer's a terrible person. Let's have a holiday for Ted Bundy instead. That's my view. Because when you look deep into these actors, Christopher Columbus, the native peoples, this is an example of where humanity was in that space in time. It was pure evil. That's it. We did evil things to each other. You want evil and horrifying things? Read the Iliad and the Odyssey. We have yet to produce anything in our contemporary culture as gory or as ugly, as warlike, as just the death scenes in there would make Quentin Tarantino blush. And that was a reflection of how we were as humans in a point in time. So Columbus Day, whatever your feelings on Columbus, let's just stop pretending the native peoples weren't also evil and warlike. They were. And the tribes here in North America proper, they were fighting each other long before the first Europeans came. And in some ways, we're just as feudal as the Afghans were, a country I'm very familiar with. So there you go. There's your Columbus Day message. I'm sure that this will get a few people going today. So I'll leave it here and we can discuss.